It's Friday Coffee with your mortgage man, Eric. So, look, I'm en route to my monthly SEVRAR meeting, Southeast Valley Regional Association of Realtors. Every month we have the affiliate meeting, so I'm going to try to get my video done on the way en route. So today, great topic. You want to tune in. We're going to talk about the LSU and the PQF. And look, this is a huge thing, a huge topic that any potential buyer needs to tune into, because this really determines if you're picking the right lender or not. And picking the right lender isn't necessarily who has the best fees and who has the best rates, and here's why. The PQF, the pre-qualification form, and the LSU, the loan status update. Now, these are two forms that the Arizona Association of Realtors have made it mandatory to be part of the Arizona real estate purchase contract. So these two forms are actually part of the contract. So when you are making an offer as a buyer and your realtor representing you, you need the PQF, the pre-qual form. It's got to go along with the offer. And that form sometimes is difficult to have presented when you are using an out-of-state lender, an internet lender, a big bank, an FDIC, for example. They just don't give these forms, and it's sometimes. And why is that? Well, an out-of-state lender, I mean, that's kind of obvious. They're not in Arizona. They're not familiar with the Arizona rules, regulations, guidelines, policies. So they don't have access to the form. Once they do get access to the form, 2-3 days later, they don't know how to fill the form out, or their company won't let them fill it out. And then sometimes you get that with the big banks. We don't fill those forms out, but we're going to give you our own form. Well, that may not fly, because the listing agent, the people that are selling the home, understand that they need this form. This form's got to be in the file. This form's got to be filled out appropriately, or their broker, their boss, won't pay them because their file is non-compliant. See? So you have to understand that you got to pick the right lender that has access to these forms. And then it gets better yet. The LSU, the Loan Status Update Form. Now, I got to be pretty honest with you here and tell you that this form is a pain in the rear end. Why is it a pain in the rear end? Because it's a bunch of blah, blah, blah. And any lender that's worth any salt already has a milestone system, a CRM system put in place that keeps their agents, their realtor partners, their referral partners, the buyer, everybody in tune, step by step, on what's going on, and does a better job at it than what the LSU does, the Loan Status Update. As a matter of fact, the Loan Status Update probably should have been created with the help of lenders, because we would have taken out some stuff that doesn't make any sense that's in there, and we would have added some stuff that makes the form more relevant. Nonetheless, topic for another day. Back to the LSU. These big banks, the big banks of the world, the Chases, the B of A's, and the Wells Fargos, and most of your credit unions, your FDIC lenders, and your big corporations, your sweatshops, your out-of-state lenders, look, they're not gonna use this file. And guess what? The realtors representing you as a buyer, the realtors representing the seller, get this, they know this. They know how difficult it is going to be to communicate with a loan officer, quote unquote loan officer, at some of these places, which is just a glorified customer service rep, to get these forms. They don't want to be pounding the phones, going over top of your head and talking to management just to get one stinking loan status update, right? It's highly unprofessional. They just don't do business well in Arizona. It is what it is. So you have to listen to your realtors when it comes to this, because the realtors will simply skip right over those offers. Not all the time, but a lot, especially in Arizona where it is a very aggressive market, multiple bid offers. There's 6 offers on the table, and guess whose offers get pushed to the bottom of the pile? The ones that they know they're going to have difficulty communicating with, difficulty in making sure that their file is compliant, difficulty in making sure that their broker is going to pay them. Because we hear it all the time. My broker isn't going to pay me unless I have at least one LSU in the file. And I can't blame them. I can't blame them. It's compliance. It's rules. It's following the rules. So you have to keep that in mind when you're trying to pick the right lender. And listen to your realtor, because they probably want to send you to a local mortgage guy, right? A local direct mortgage lender that understands it, that will get these forms to you on a Saturday afternoon or a Sunday afternoon or a Thursday evening, right? And that is where we separate ourselves on the level of service. And look, as I mentioned, I think the LSU is a pain in the rear end. And sometimes we get agents that want them weekly, which, it's a pain, but we do it because what we call this form in our side of the industry is the LS useless form. That's what we've nicknamed it. Now, with that said, I'm very thankful that we have that form in the state of Arizona. Why? Because it separates us from the herd. It separates us from the FDICs and the sweatshops and the out-of-state lenders and the internet lenders because they don't have access to the forms. And you're not going to get your deal accepted knowing that your lender that you chose can't get the forms, isn't going to provide the forms, isn't going to fill out the forms. And nobody cares if they're going to put it on their own letterhead and we're going to send out our own pre-approval letter. Great. Doesn't mean anything. Read the Arizona real estate purchase contract and you will know and understand that these forms are required to be part of the contract. And if your lender that you've chosen can't provide those forms, you see where I'm at? Then you don't have a full, complete, compliant file. You're like a salmon swimming upstream to get an eighth lower on an interest rate. It's not worth it, at least not in the state of Arizona when doing a purchase transaction. So just keep that in mind. With that said, hope you all have a great Friday. I'm on the freeway headed to Severar. Apologize, I've never done, the Friday Coffee with the Mortgage Man Eric on the freeway. I am hands-free though, right? Other than my coffee. So make it a great day, productive weekend, guys. We'll see you.